Ministers from the Security and Justice clusters are in KwaZulu-Natal this Monday afternoon. They're meeting the province's Premier and the National Police Commissioner over a spike in what appear to be politically motivated murders. Our reporter Dasen Thathiah is on that story, joins us now. Dasen, good afternoon to you. So has anything emerged from this meeting yet, or is it still too early?
Well, Jeremy, all those very important people are behind closed doors in the building that you see behind me, hoping to, come up with some kind of solution to end these political killings in KZN once and for all. We haven't been privy to what's going on inside there just yet, but we've been promised that a media briefing will be held at about 3 o'clock, where we'll be updated on those talks. Now, this comes at a time when at least three politically related murders have taken place in the province in just this month alone. But it's not the first for this year. Even as far back as March, there were also murders that were taking place. I recall that there was an ANC member that was killed on the KZN South Coast. This also comes at a time, Jeremy, where the Morane Commission of Inquiry has wrapped up its work. It ended its public hearings in March. It's still now in the process of finalizing its report. Now, as you'll know, that commission was looking at political killings in the province from 2011 until now. And as we understand it, that report should land on the Premier's desk by the end of this month. There was some debate as to whether it was going to be made public. I just had a few words with a member of the media team from the Premier's office, and he says to me that as he understands it, it's quite likely that that report will be released to the public. So the Premier has about 21 days in which to make that final decision and to also determine exactly how he will implement those recommendations that are in that report. So that also ties in with these talks happening in the building behind us, and hopefully it will mean that there could be an end, or at least some kind of determination made on the causes behind the political violence we've been seeing in KZN.
Dasen, do we have any sense of what is on the agenda of this very high-powered meeting? In other words, what are they hoping to achieve when they finish?
Jeremy, I'm hoping that this is now a solid plan of action that we're going to hear about. I think many of us are tired of hearing the words task team always being thrown around whenever there's a high-profile murder. We've heard a lot of rhetoric in the past, and now is the time where there's also been an instruction from the top, where President Cyril Ramaphosa has also told his departments to find the cause and to find the killers, those that are responsible for these murders in KZN. So one would hope, I don't want to preempt what's going to come out of this meeting, that even the agenda hasn't been shared with us, but one would hope that if nothing else, it's at least a solid plan and a way forward. And hopefully we'll see some arrests in at least these three murders that we've seen this month alone.
And all of this, of course, putting an enormous amount of pressure on the police themselves. They often find themselves on the back foot, going into very dangerous situations. In fact, in the past, some of the areas have almost been declared no-go zones.
No, definitely. In fact, also apart from that, Jeremy, apart from the police being stretched and their resources being stretched on the ground, one of the other issues that they've constantly complained about, and this even came out in the Morane Commission, you'll remember that over 60 witnesses at least appeared before that commission, and the SAPS was among them. And one of the things that came out was that witnesses and witness statements are very hard to come by. And now that's something that's very crucial in investigations like this, and it just seems, and we even find this when we are working as journalists or doing stories like this, that you find that speaking to people who know about these things is extremely difficult. And I can imagine that is one of the challenges that they're facing at the moment. But for now, it seems like although the province is still tense, fortunately we haven't reached that stage of where there are those no-go areas that you've referred to.
All right, we will keep an eye out for that briefing, which is due to start a little later. We'll take as much of it live as we can.